Hello, everyone. You have the unusual pleasure of joining me for a spot of light baking, which is something that. So, long story about this. I have wanted to fucking bake bread since I first moved out, and I've never done it. I'm 30, I moved out at 18. You do the math on that one. 31, actually. God, I'm old. Because I always, my mom used to bake bread, and she was so fucking good at it, and it's always tasted way better than the stuff you buy in stores. And also, I just kind of felt like that's a life skill you should have. Like, baking bread is so basic, it's something everyone should be able to do. But I've never done it, ever. This is my first time ever baking bread. I've baked cakes and stuff like that, but never bread. So, world first exclusive. So I found, the simplest possible fucking recipe for a loaf of bread, which is like a rough white bread thing where I've suspended some sunflower seeds in boiled water for a bit, which softens them up and makes them absolutely delicious, honestly. I could just eat this as snacks. I've got some, what are these? Hörfleur. Don't know. I don't actually know what the hell that is in English. But some other seeds. I hope you can see those. Yeah. Some other seeds and some nice rough flour. I really don't like really fluffy white bread. I prefer stuff with some bite in it. So that's what I'm trying to do. Got some yeast in some warm water with a bit of salt. And I do not... The recipe says you should if you have one, you should use a stirring machine, like one of those fancy machines that can knead the dough for you. I ain't got one of those. So freshly washed hands and maximum effort it is. This is lovely and gross. Very satisfying though, if you're into that kind of thing. The flour should absorb the water pretty quickly, I hope. And make this a little more of a dry exercise, but not too dry. But yeah, so this is what I'm getting up. I've been on a bit of a take control over my life kick recently, as you've noticed. I've been cleaning the whole fucking apartment, and there's really only the hallway left, which I'm leaving for later, because I need to vacuum that, and it's pretty early in the morning. Don't want to mess with the neighbors. Oil? This is going to get greasy. 100 milliliters of oil, the recipe says, which to me seems like a lot, so God, I hope the dough can absorb it, because oh yeah, this is goopy. By the way, I'm wearing my merchandise. I don't know if that shows up on camera. My awful emoji shirt, which is uniquely terrible, but I also love it. And it makes a great present for Christmas for anyone who you don't want to like you too much. Yeah, this still feels like there's not enough flour in there. I guess I'll add some if it stays this wet, because it does need to turn into flour into dough at some point. This is still a little too greasy. Don't know if you can hear the sounds. Okay, well, it's getting cohesive. It's getting a bit of cohesion. Guess I just need to keep going. Oh yeah, there we go. Because I need it to be a cohesive piece of dough. So this is theoretically enough for 2 loaves. Okay. That should be time for the mini seeds. Lovely. Yeah, that should eat the rest of the moisture. Oh yeah. Oh, there we go. Excellent. Here's hoping this turns out not to be a complete disaster. Because I picked one of the early Google results, and who knows what happens when you do that. Let's mix you up nice and good. I tell you what, if this works, if this becomes a decent loaf of bread, it's going to have some crunch to it. This is going to have some nice bite. Just the way I like it. But yeah, this as recipes go, this is pretty easy. It's pretty much just like there's a couple of fiddly bits where, like, you put the yeast in warm water with some salt and stir it up and let it sit for 10 minutes, and you have to like prepare the seeds, the sunflower seeds, but that's about it. The rest of it is just kneading a good dough, getting everything mixed up. I should probably put the seeds in earlier, come to think of it. Would have made it easier to mix them all in properly, but I'm a musician, I've got good hands. I can knead this. Yeah, that sucked the rest of the moisture right out of it. Nice. Yeah, if my mom could see me now, she'd be so proud. She's not dead, by the way, she just doesn't follow my vlog channel as far as I know. I feel like the bowl is the biggest issue here. Yeah, I think next time I'm going to spread some flour on the table and then finish the kneading there. There we go, now it's a dough. Now it's a solid dough. You could attract deer with this, it's so dough. That's a woodland animal-based pun for you. But yeah, once I'm done kneading this, I'm gonna wash my hands first and foremost. And then I'll let it sit for a bit to rise. Prove yourself and rise! Such a good song. Such a good video, too. I'm gonna let it sit and rise for a bit, and then give it a trip to the oven at 220 degrees Celsius for a while, and then I'll record a second vlog. I don't like to edit these things, so I'll record a second extra vlog where I show off the results of the baking and whether they were any good. Like, bread is one of those things that, simple enough that it should be kind of hard to fuck up outside of making an obvious mistake like using the wrong amount of ingredients or putting it in the oven for way too long. Alright, let me just attach you. Nice and cohesive. Yeah, very good. And I think that will do. There you go. I think you can see that. And I can't touch my phone until I wash my hands, so... Ugh. But yeah, this is pretty easy. Like, with the preparation, it's taken me maybe 45 minutes to get to this point. And just in terms of, once you have the ingredients prepared, which you can kind of do at any time, really, it only really took the time that you saw to put the whole thing together. But yeah, I've been on a self-improvement kick, or taking control back of my life kick recently. And the weird thing is, the reason I've been cleaning and I've decided to bake, I've been doing all this shit, is because I currently have a bit of an anxiety blockage. I think I mentioned this before, but there's a thing that I'm supposed to be finishing up that actually has a deadline on it, which is really messing with me. Which I'm supposed to be dealing with, but I'm not dealing with it, and so I've decided to deal with absolutely everything else instead. Which has had good results. Like, look at this, look how tidy everything is. Like, this is a bunch of garbage that needs to be thrown out, but you couldn't walk here so easily in the kitchen before. It was a bad situation. It was not good. But yeah, it's a combination of procrastination and anxiety that has gotten me to be interested in wanting to bake, of all things, and actually gotten me to pull the trigger on it. And that's, silver linings. It's one of the things that when you have these anxiety attacks and stuff, there are ways that you can use that energy to make you do something. The worst thing in the world is when it paralyzes you. It's when it makes you do nothing. and makes you incapable of acting at all. But sometimes, like now, this time with me, you can take that anxiety energy and you can put it towards a sensible use, like making dough for a loaf of bread that is hopefully going to be edible. But I'll update you on that later.